Hey girl, welcome to Finding My Best Self, the podcast where it's totally okay to show up in your leggings and messy bun. Because let's be real, that's our uniform here. The only rule is to be unapologetically yourself.
And I'm Mandy, and joining me is Pam, the queen of finding the silver linings. We're here to share laughs, tears, and everything in between. Think of us as your new best friends with some stories to tell and wisdom to share.
From face palms to victories, we're diving into the journey of self-discovery, wellness, and what it means to truly embrace who you are. So whether you're conquering the world or just trying to find your phone in the black hole, purse, we've got you covered.
Because here it's all about encouraging you to lace up those sneakers, or don't, we're not judging, and join us as we explore what it truly means to own your confidence and find your best self.
So pour yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Finding My Best Self podcast. I am Pam Revet, your host for today. I'm doing a solo episode and I don't know why I feel like it's been forever since I did this. I know it hasn't, but it feels like it. So if you're new here, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. And if you're not, welcome back. It's good to sit down and chat. Today's going to be a deep conversation. There's something that I want to share that's super personal. I've been sitting with these thoughts since Thursday. This podcast episode was not prepared for at all. I was literally sitting here in my office working on what was going to be just a video that I was going to create and post on social media about this topic. And the more I sat here, the more I felt called to podcast about it. Because I feel that, first of all, the video that I made was like 6 minutes long. And we know that social media, I think, caps us off at like 3 minutes on Reels. And I started to try and cut things out. And I'm like, no, because if I cut things out, then it just defeats the whole purpose of the video that I was creating and what exactly I want to speak on it. And I want to share about it because I know that I'm not alone in the feelings that I had and that I've had to process and work through over the last couple of days. But before I get into that, I do want to ask, as always, is that if you are new here or you're not new here, if you enjoy this episode, please take a moment to leave us a review. That is how we help to get our podcast out to more people and are able to help more women. Another thing that I want to share is the shirt that I'm wearing. It says that he left the 99. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the shirt. And then the back of it has all the 99 little slashes. And if you've ever listened to my keynote speech or have maybe even listened to the podcast, I've probably talked about it. But one of the things that I wholeheartedly believe is that God left the 99 to go back for the one, and that one was me. And that he helped me to completely transform my life. And I have surrendered my life to him. So when I saw this shirt, and I'll share the name of the company, from a local company here in South Louisiana. Well, she's North Louisiana. I absolutely fell in love with the shirt, so much so that I reached out to her and was like, I have to talk to you. So because I want to not only promote her company, but just promote her in general. She is an incredible person. So her name is Jessica, and she owns a business in North Louisiana that is called Salt and Light Design Company. And she creates t-shirts with all of these beautiful scriptures and just faith-based clothing, hats and t-shirts and things like that. And she does have children's clothes as well. So if you're interested, I'm going to put her link on this video for you to be able to go check her out because her pieces are absolutely beautiful. And I love the movement that she is creating. Another thing that I want to share that is personal as well, just because I want to be super real and authentic with y'all and just kind of give y'all some insight on my personal life. I had my very first ambulance ride Wednesday night. Today is Saturday that I am recording. So I'm just a few days off of being in the hospital for the night. It was Definitely unexpected, something that I've never experienced. And it was not, I didn't want to do it. I'm going to say I was somewhat forced by my husband and my child and my ex-husband and my mom and everyone else who was here watching me suffer. So, long story short, um, I found out that I apparently have what is called, and I'm going to say the word wrong, and all of the medical professional people who are listening are going to correct me. I think it's called an ileus in my small intestines, which is basically, I guess, something like an obstruction, or it could lead to an obstruction in my small intestines. So, if any of you know me again or have listened to the podcast, you know that I 1000% believe in holistic wellness, and I want to know the reason why this is happening. So, I am going to be searching for not just any gastro doctor to go to, but someone specifically who is holistic. So that way they can help me to understand what's going on and how I can hopefully correct this on my own without having to have surgery. So, fun times, not fun times, but I've never experienced that before. And hopefully I never have to experience that again. So, let's talk about the reason why I hit record today. So, first and foremost, I'm just going to share my news right off the bat, as I am super excited that I was featured in the month of March in not one, but two magazines, which is so super exciting. I'm going to show them on camera, but I will be sharing these on social media. I have not yet. I've been holding on to them on Thursday, but the first one is called Vitality Digest Magazine. It's titled Empowered Wellness. And inside of this one, it is a full 2 pages that I was featured in, an article that I wrote up. And the other magazine is called She Wins Magazine. And the title of this one is Educate, Inspire, and Lead. And this one is a 1-page article. These articles, I personally wrote myself. They were not written by a reporter. Let me step back because I'm going to go forward and before I even get into it. So initially, when I found out that my 2 articles were going to be featured in these 2 magazines, I was beyond excited, and I could not wait to finally get these magazines in my hand. I think I found out it was sometime in, I think, the end of January, maybe early February, something like that. So I've been knowing for a little while that this was happening, and I was thrilled. I was so excited, and I could not wait to get my hands on them. And so, time went by, and I finally got the message from the reporter that, the magazines were officially being released and that I was going to be getting my copies in. And I knew that I was getting them in this week. And so on Thursday, I got the first one, and on Friday, I got the second one. They came in separate for some reason. And when I got them in, my reaction and how I felt was not expected at all. And it caught me off guard, my reaction. And so on Thursday, I got the first one in, and I looked at it, and, I smiled about it, and I put it aside. And then on Friday, I got the second one in, and same thing. I just kind of looked at it, smiled, and put it aside. And then at some point later in the day on Friday, I was like, well, I guess I need to, take a picture or post about it, or, make a video or something like that. And so I sat down and I took a couple of pictures. I took a video of me opening the magazines, and then I've set it all down, and I was just looking at him on my phone, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm telling you, let me stop. I'm saying all of this because, and being so open and honest and authentic and raw, because I know that I'm not alone in my feelings and my reactions. Like, I know that other women have these, and not necessarily right in the same aspect. It may not be because you got a magazine in, but the thought process and the feelings behind when you finally get something that you've been working towards, or something finally happens that you've been waiting on, something that you've been praying about, or just something great happens to you in general in life. And then you have all of these thoughts and feelings that weren't expected. So I sat down, and as I'm looking at these pictures and the video that I took that I was going to post, my first thought was, it's not the cover. Because if you've heard my story about MBS and the vision that I had in September of 23 or August of 23, in my vision, I saw myself on the cover of a magazine. It wasn't the cover. My next thought was, who the heck do you think you are, and what is wrong with you? Like, you selfish little, you know what? That was my, because I'm thinking to myself, like, really? Really? Like, how are you going to have, you're holding two magazines that you're featured in, and all you can think of is it's not the cover? Like, what is wrong with you? Right? So then I'm beating myself up. And then the next thought that I had was, clearly the devil was working on me in more ways than one yesterday. The next thought that I had was, you're not even worthy of it. Yeah, you're not even worthy of it. And that was probably because of my initial thought, right? The more I think about it, is I'm thinking, if that's how you're going to feel and that's how you're going to think, then you're not even worthy of it to begin with. So I have all of these, just super negative thoughts around the whole thing. And so I sat down and I recorded this entire 6-minute long video explaining that. And I'm glad I didn't post that video. I'm glad that I've sat with it and thought about it a little bit more, because I've been able to get my words together and my thoughts together to really be able to speak on it. Not in terms of just myself, but in terms of helping other women too, because I know that I'm not the only one that thinks and feels that way. So here's what I will tell you, is that if you have ever in your life, or if you currently are facing something that is so great that has happened to you, something that you've worked really hard towards, something that you've been praying for, praying about, and your initial reaction wasn't what you expected, or if you are having those feelings of self-doubt, feelings of being unworthy, just know that everything happens in God's timing. First of all, you are worthy. You are 100% worthy, because it wouldn't have been given to you. You wouldn't have earned it if it wasn't yours to earn to begin with. You are very worthy. Second of all, it's all in God's timing. So even if your initial thought was, well, that's not what I was hoping for, or that's not exactly what I prayed for, or that's not exactly what my vision was, it's all in God's timing. And just remember that it may not be right now. Now is not the time. It doesn't mean that that won't ever come. It just means that you're not there yet. But it doesn't mean you won't be. And it definitely doesn't mean that you should give up or stop trying. It just means that God is giving you a little bit before He gives you more. He is molding you and growing you and preparing you for what is in store and what is to come. It's all part of His provision. It's all in the little steps and the stepping stones to get you there. It's all in the helping you to learn and grow and appreciate and to love the things that you do have now, and to be grateful for what is. So that way, when what is to come, you'll have even more gratitude than you ever did before. So just know that You're not alone in those feelings. You're not alone in having feelings of, like I said, my first initial thought was, it's not the cover. You're not alone in having feelings of, this isn't what I wanted. You're not alone in having feelings of shame, of, you know, feeling like, why did you even think that? And not even just about things that happen, in your life, good things that happen, just in general, we're human, right? We're all going to have thoughts sometimes that come through our head that aren't what we would normally think. And are just negative thoughts, or we might think something, negatively about someone else, or just any thought that after you think it, you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Why are you thinking that way? Why is that thought crossing your mind? Like, that's not who you are. We're human. We have those thoughts, but we have to give ourselves grace and remind ourselves that we are human and it's okay, and to recognize them and to move on from that. I'm pretty sure I did a whole podcast episode on that already. And then when we have those times when the devil tries to work and tries to tell you that you are not worthy of, you have to remember to shake that off and to rebuke those negative thoughts from your life. Rebuke all of that, because you are worthy. You are so worthy. You work so hard for all of the things that you have in your life, all of the things that you are working towards that you don't have yet. You are worthy of all of that. I've been sitting with all of these thoughts and everything, and just thinking about, posting the magazines, and should I do it? And another part of the reason why I had these thoughts around this was also because I feel that if I would have just posted them initially and just said that I was featured in these magazines, that I felt very icky about it. It was like I felt like if I posted them, A, that I was going to be boastful, and B, that I wouldn't be telling the full truth, because I was not approached by this reporter to write these articles and put them in a magazine. I wrote the articles and I pitched this reporter, and then she said, yes, I would love, to feature your articles. So it wasn't that she came to me. And so I had that feeling of, man, that just feels, super icky, and makes me feel like, again, I guess that, who are you to even post that, and, making it out to be something more than what it is. And then I sit back, and if I'm being very, very honest, it took me a minute to have this thought and this feeling of, again, what's wrong with you? But in a different aspect of, where is this coming from? And why are you feeling like you're not even worthy of sharing something that's so incredible? That reporter didn't have to say yes to me. That reporter didn't have to put my articles in a magazine. So granted, did she reach out to me? No. Did she write them? No. But she didn't have to say yes. So why do I feel like I'm being so boastful about, about being featured in a magazine, or feeling like, I'm being, or if it's not good enough, I guess, if I, share that it's articles that I wrote. Why do I feel like that's not good enough? Why do I feel like it had to have been written by the reporter in order for that to be good enough? So again, if I flip this around into a way that someone else may be experiencing, whatever it is that you've done, you have the full right to share that. You have every right to be excited about your accomplishments and your achievements, and to share those. Share it, whether you want to share it on social media, whether you want to share it out in a mass text to all your friends and family, whether you want to put it on a sign and put it in your front yard. It is your news, and you have every right to be excited and to share it. And if there are people who don't want to share in your excitement with you, then guess what? They're not your people to begin with. They're just Facebook followers, social media people. They're not your people. Your people are going to support you and encourage you and lift you up and be proud of you and excited with you. You have every right to be excited and proud of yourself for the work that you put into getting what you got. It took me a long time to write those 2,000-word articles. And if you know me, you know that I'm an overthinker. So I rewrote them and retyped them a million times. It took work. It wasn't like I just made them up, or, and just threw it on paper and submitted it. I put a lot of work into that. So you have the right to be excited about it. You have the right to share it. And even if it's not exactly the way you thought or exactly what you thought, doesn't make it less than what it is. Does that make sense? So for me, just because they weren't written about me, because the reporter didn't approach me, doesn't mean that the achievement is any less. It just means that it's not what I'm working towards, what I know that one day I will have and will happen, and the things that I'm continuing to work for and work towards. Just because it wasn't what I saw in my vision, it's just not now. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because it will. So just don't give up. My whole reason for sharing all of this and being so open and so personal about it is because I want you to know that you are worthy of every accomplishment, every achievement that you get, even if it's not 100% what you wanted, even if it's more than what you ever thought you could ever have or that you were ever even worthy of. And now you're struggling with, I don't even know what I did to deserve this. I'm not worthy of this. Yes, you are. Whether it's not everything you wanted or whether it's more than you wanted, you are worthy of it all. You are worthy of it all. Just like we sing in the song to God, He is worthy of it all, and so are you. You are worthy of everything God gives to you. I'm also telling you this because you shouldn't give up if and when you do have those accomplishments or achievements and it's not 100% what you wanted or 100% where you're working towards. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on you. And also to say that it is okay to share. It is okay to be proud. It is okay to be excited. Don't feel that you have to hold in or hide your excitement for what you've done out of feeling like you may sound boastful or like you're bragging or anything like that. No, girl, you worked your tail off to get what you just got, and it is your right to share it with whomever you want. You can go stand on your roof and scream it from the rooftops, literally, if that's what you want to do. However it is that you want to share your goals, it is your goal, it is your victory, it is your hard work. It is for you to share with whomever, however you choose. So go for it. And for all the naysayers and the haters, just let it be and let them talk. Let them. I know everyone is on the Mel Robbins let them theory, and that's exactly what she's talking about. Let them. Let them talk. Let them be, jealous. At the end of the day, when people have something negative to say about someone who has something positive going on in their life, it is out of pure jealousy. So let them. That is my TED Talk for today. That is another episode of Finding My Best Self podcast. I hope that in today's episode, that if you've ever experienced this or if you're currently experiencing this, that I have been able to help to lift you up and remind you again that you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy of every goal, every achievement, everything that God has blessed you with. I love you, and I'm endlessly rooting for you. I'll see y'all next time.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Finding My Best Self. It's been real. It's been fun. We hope you found a piece of your story in ours and feel a little more inspired to chase after your best self.
And don't forget to share this episode with someone who needs a little boost today or a good laugh. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode.
Nothing says owning your confidence like a new outfit from MBS Fitco. Check out the show notes for the link to shop our luxury athleisure. Go ahead, girl. Treat yourself.
And if you've got a story to share or a topic you're dying for us to cover, drop us a line. Our email is in the show notes. Just reach out and let's keep the conversation going.
So until next time, keep owning your confidence, embracing the chaos, and remember, the best version of you is just an episode away.
And again, we love you and we're endlessly rooting for you.